Last day?
What's that?
Last day before break?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's
the last day. Yeah, today and tomorrow kind of heavy work day, Tuesday, Wednesday type mentality, and then back it up when we're down there. So we kind of treat these lead ups to the bowl games as 2 game weeks with bonus day built in, and just trying to not have anything new really once we're down there, and it's just tightening up execution, editing things out rather than adding things in.
Yeah, on your to-do list of things to do before the bowl versus when you're in San Antonio, what's the breakdown of what you try to install here versus in San Antonio?
Well, we try to get everything installed here. We try to, and that's the thing you have to fight in whether it's a bye week or a bowl prep, is you're going to do a few things differently based on based on things that you perceive are things that you can get done against an opponent. But you need to fight the urge to, 2 days before the game, add 17 plays or add, 14 new defenses, because you can't execute at a high level. So we try to take that approach and get our guys to just play, cleanly and confidently.
When the guys go home, do you want them to do anything, or do you want to kind of take a complete mental break, given you do have 8 days in San Antonio?
Right, a little bit of everything. We want to be, kind of joke that we want to be great at 7-on-7, and we want to be great at Thanksgiving or Christmas in this case, or whatever. But yeah, we'll have a little mental stuff for them, very little physical stuff for them, and then we kind of jumpstart them with some of the things we do down there.
What's some of the mental stuff you have them do, kind of stay sharp in that regard?
Just to rehearse the game, play it mentally from whether, again, I'm a right guard on the punt team or a right guard on the offense, of just rehearsing the game plan, seeing things a little bit. We'll have some video stuff for them kind of in each phase, but at the same time we want them to have some truly off time. They have to turn it off a little bit and enjoy family and friends.
It's been a week after finals. Do you know of any guys who won't be able to make the trip, academically, otherwise?
All reports I've had have been positive, so not anything that I know of.
You've been kind of in and out, a couple days on, day off, How have guys handled that schedule to bring it every day?
Pretty well. I thought we were a little sluggish yesterday. Today was better from an effort standpoint. Now we need to clean up the execution, and that again is just what you worry about of mentally turning it on, turning it off. We'd rather just flip it on, go hot and heavy there for a few days, and then flip it completely off.
What was your favorite part of the San Antonio trip a few years ago?
Winning the game. Well, I think selfishly it was kind of, I think I said last year, it was coaching 505, being around Mac Brown and watching how much people cared about him and taking notes on everything, just how he handled himself and how he did things, and tried to sidle up to him on many occasions, and he's been great to me ever since, of just being a sounding board for things, and then just how our guys behaved. We played hard, didn't play smart necessarily or cleanly, but played hard and won.
Are there any pros or cons of going back to a place that you've been fairly recently?
I think a ton of pros. I mean, the people there were awesome and are awesome. They've treated us really well. And it's the same hotel, the same practice site, the same meeting rooms, and all those things. So there's a little familiarity that way. And the cons are you're playing another extremely talented team from Texas, and so there'll be that home game element and a really good group on the other sideline.
Have you played in bowl games the last couple of years that are later in the bowl calendar season? Does that help and guys kind of know how to handle getting to go home a little bit for Christmas and stuff like that?
Hopefully that's the routine, and it's a good. This calendar I think is our best one as far as game prep, and then we have a good chunk of time off. And we're going to rally back up in San Antonio on the 26th and get it back rolling.
And you're installing something. What's something schematically on each side of the ball that you do that really works for guys?
Well, defensively they play their defense really well, but then they play plays really well. They play scheme really well. You can tell that he kind of tries to have the chalk last in terms of adjusting the defense right up until the snap, and they do a tremendous job of it. Most teams, when they do that, somebody's out of position. Of whether they're peeking on the sideline trying to get something defensively, but they do it really well. And just how hard they play, how physical they are. Offensively, obviously, there's schematic challenges from whether it's personnel, 12 personnel, 10 personnel, 11 personnel, all the recognition that normally goes on, and then the dudes doing it are really good. The quarterback is fantastic. It's not just boxing; it's the other wideouts, the other tailbacks that are extremely talented. And special teams, they play really hard. They're similar to like an SC or some of these other teams in our conference that are a little bit simpler maybe from a schematic standpoint in special teams, but really good.
I think Mac Brown gave you a pair of silver spur cufflinks, if I'm correct. Are you planning on breaking those out as like a good luck charm?
Spurs, not cufflinks. Yeah, they're actual spurs.
Oh, they're actual spurs.
Absolutely.
Oh, I thought they were cufflinks. Never mind. So
he knows that I'm not.
You
can't wear cufflinks from Coos Bay. That get beat up. But no, yeah, I still have those. Some spurs. That was big time.
I was going to ask if you were going to wear them, but I thought they were cufflinks, so never mind.
You guys bring in another grad transfer quarterback. What do you say to the people that say Oregon can't develop quarterbacks?
Well, speaking very generally, I think that the vets of the day, it doesn't really speak to development of anything. It just speaks to the importance of talent, certainly at that position. And yeah, it's funny that all the teams that have recruited, guys over the last years can't develop people. I think that's a little odd. And nobody said one thing about not being able to develop centers that, we brought in Matt Haggerty or Kyle Long or whoever. And so, if a guy fits our criteria off the field and fits our criteria on the field, and it fits, we're gonna see if we can make it happen.
Does it speak to how difficult it is to really identify a guy in high school to be able to play that position at a high level?
I think that's fair. It's getting, I said at the beginning, quarterback play is becoming more like a club sport. Growing up, and these guys are so individualized. They're not, playing basketball and leading. They're not playing baseball and leading. They're not, maybe failing. Failing is good for these guys at a young age. And then they're supposed to lead a program, and sometimes that's hard. And again, I'm not saying that about anyone in particular, but no, it's that's really important. Quarterback play is vital.
Is the lack of history of failing leading to some guys that win? Is the lack of history of failing, as you speak of, is that leading to some guys when they do fail a little bit, but then look to leave? Like you're this the Division I programs across the country have guys who are trying to bail.
Right. There's certainly the easy path, or comparing depth charts and comparing this and comparing that. Sure. That's that's why we're going to continue to recruit the way we've recruited. We're very honest with guys about competing forever. And let alone on the front end of guaranteeing a guy a spot, or that comes back to haunt you.
Did you have any discussion with the basketball team about how they handle grad transfers? Because they've done quite a bit.
I did right when Coach Altman first got here, and he made some great points that I had never thought about before. We hadn't been a huge junior college recruiting program, and he made some very, very valid points about, hey, if it's the right guy, that's it's their last chance, and most guys, when it's their last chance, they're going to toe the line. They're going to do things that much better, and again, if it's the right guy, it could work.
Talking with Nate Costa earlier this week, he said that Morgan Mahalik development this season has been good, not great. A lot of the reason for that because he worked out with the scout team, and I know you said before that he didn't really capitalize on that redshirt year. So looking back at the younger quarterbacks, do you take that into consideration on maybe how to change the development of those younger quarterbacks?
That's an odd question.
Or developing them.
What,
do you think about how do you try to make any changes to how you plan on developing your quarterbacks, your younger quarterbacks, so that they can be maybe the guy later in their career?
Well, there's certain things you can do and certain things you can't do, and Travis Johnson is in a situation, he had a surgery, and you can't control that, right? You can't control that. But at the same time, if I'm that guy, I'm doing every single thing I can to develop mentally and get back in shape as quickly as possible. If I'm somebody else that is of sound physical state, then I'm doing every single thing possible. And some guys take advantage of that, some guys don't. Some guys at different rates. Some guys not all, and never to the degree you want them to. But yeah, it's that whole development thing is just absolutely individually based.
You talk to
One more.
Doesn't talk to a lot of guys kind of taking on added roles. Costa really kind of starting on the fly. So guys like Matt Miller and Sean Young, those guys had kind of unusual background and put a lot on from a coaching perspective. What does that speak to kind of what you always talk about here, where you trust the guys to kind of learn and they kind of promote the culture?
Absolutely. You know, those guys, they do a great job behind the scenes and a bunch of stuff that is, you know, kind of the dirty office work that you have to do. You used to have to do on a, you know, yellow pad for hours and hours and hours and hours. They can spit out in 2 seconds with a report or a spreadsheet or whatever it is, but there's just still a lot of, you know, blue collar type hours that go into that data. And so that's where we always talk about every person's role in this program is vital. Whether you're Dave Littleford, you know, shooing me out of here, or you know, or Matt or Sean, and they do a great job.
For those guys, what did you think